Hello beautiful ones, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Joseph, it's really lovely to meet you, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Now then beautiful ones, sorry that's my toe, if you can hear a squeaking sort of noise, it's because I'm sat here in my boxer shorts and I've kind of polished the floor, but and it's a bit squeaky because I've got bare feet. And can you hear that? Shall I stop that right now and just talk to you about what I'm going to be showing you what to do today? Shall I do that? Okay, I'll get on and do that. So today's tutorial, beautiful ones, is all about new. We have new concealer to try, new foundation, and a new technique to apply both. Well, maybe not both, but certainly the concealer and the... You'll see as the tutorial unfolds, it's a new technique known as sandwiching or sandwich, potato, tomato. Shall I stop that too? Okay, stopping. And I believe this technique was pioneered by Nina Ubi, who is a fellow makeup artist right here on YouTube. She's amazing. I'll link her channel into the description and put it down here if I remember to do that. And we're all about pioneering makeup techniques on the House of Joseph, aren't we guys? We are. So I thought perhaps today I'd try it with you beautiful ones at home. Shall I? Why not? And what sandwiching is basically applying a thin layer of foundation to your face and without applying concealer first, then going in with your concealer, and then applying another layer of foundation. So it's basically a layering technique. Now, I've never come across this technique before in my my online makeup artist training course, though I don't believe that Nina Ubi would be the first person to ever apply a foundation to her face and then concealer and then go in with another layer. Does that make sense? Another layer of foundation. Should really finish off each sentence, shouldn't I, before moving on to the next one? We'll try to endeavour to do that. Yep, so without any further waffle, should we talk about what products we're going to use today? Now then, you need some quite specific products. You need a sheer to medium cover foundation, a fuller coverage concealer, and then the same foundation over the top to seal the deal, basically. Although this is a House of Joseph adaptation of Nina Ubi's technique. So I'll be winging this mainly, and it may end in disaster. I may end up looking a little bit better than I do at the minute, so that can't be bad, can it, beautiful ones? No, it certainly can't. And what I do on the House of Joseph, guys, is perhaps you didn't know this, but in fact, I don't think any of you knew this, did you? But what I like to do is I'd like to research a very expensive foundation, then I try to go out there and find a really, really cheap alternative. So this is the Snow Flawless Foundation by W7. I got this from B&M. It was something like £3.99, £4. Again, I'll check and I'll put links of everything I used today into the description. What was I saying? Nina actually uses the NARS Flawless, Radiant Flawless, or one of the NARS's foundations, and they go for like £30 or £40. A little bit too expensive for our channel, isn't it? It is. So that will be the foundation we use today. This is in shade Natural Beige, which is a really, really cool shade, actually, although the word beige implies yellow tones. It's not. It's a very strongly pink-toned foundation, and I believe it would be quite a good match to my Celtic chop, so I'm going to put him over there. Concealer-wise, we have some choices now, guys. Just bear with me while I just rummage through... This is actually an old candy floss box from when David and I went to the fair last week, because we got a big thing of candy floss and shared it, and I for some reason I decided to hold on to the bucket. It is a bucket, isn't it? Basically it is. In any other language it's a bucket. So David and I shared a bucket of candy floss last Tuesday. No, we went on Thursday, didn't we? Do get it right. Waffling, apologies. Right, so my other concealer's over there, so I'm gonna have to pause this just for a second. And with regards to concealer, beautiful ones, we could either try this, which is the Technic Stretch Concealer. This is a dupe of Glossier's Stretch Concealer, so it's basically the same name. This is a wax-based concealer, and it's supposed to be able to stretch over skin. And I haven't tried this one yet. This is a new shade. I do have this in the shade Warm Tan, which is slightly darker. I don't know if you can you, is the camera picking that up? I hope so. The shade differentiation between the two, this one's very much lighter, and this one's quite new to body care, which is where I got everything from. No, I didn't get it all from there. I'm lying again. Most of it came from body care. A few items came from B&M, and I'll see if I can try and find some American alternatives or places like that, but you might be able to get them in America. Or if any of you beautiful ones know where I can, or where you can get the the products I'm using today in the States, then please just drop a line in the community tab, or in the comments. Community tab. What am I going on about? So this is the second or third option. Second option. This is called Conceal and Blend. Again, it's a bit bright, really, isn't it? As usual. No, it's not going to work. Maybe if I bring it over here. It's got one of those metallic sort of finishes. Just take my word for it. It's called Conceal and Blend, again by Technic. This is in shade dark, believe it or not, although it doesn't look particularly dark, does it? It doesn't. And my skin's pretty fair. So this is a full cover concealer. So we may actually opt for this one. And can you see it's got a little sponge on the end? So what you're supposed to do is just buff him in. So that's another option. The third option is the Technic, what's this called? 3-in-1 canvas, and I have reviewed this. I'll link that into the description. This is a quite a sheer coverage concealer, actually. It's quite strongly yellow toned as well, but so it will neutralize blueness under eyes if that's what you're using it for, and that's what I'll be using it for today. I'm only going to be concealing under my eyes using this sandwiching technique. And the whole point behind doing the whole sandwiching technique thing is it's supposed to just give you the most naturally sort of flawless, beautiful looking skin. Although you can adapt it and put the concealer wherever you want. Do still cover spots with it, or pimples, as the beautiful ones say in the States. Shall I move on to the fourth option, which is the Sleek Cosmetics In Your Tone concealer, and this is in shade C1 or C3. Again, I'll double check and I'll put that down there or link it into the description. In fact, I may as well just look now, mayn't I? I haven't got anything else to be doing. Well, I have. I've got to go meet David later on. What shade is this buggering thing in? Oh, I don't know. Why don't they just put... Oh, got it. 1C. And this concealer, the Sleek Cosmetics concealer, is in shade 1C. And the C denotes cool, W would denote warm, N would denote neutral, so on and so forth. So, and you'll need a brush of some description and a sponge, because that's how we're going to be applying both of these. Excuse me while I just have a good old rummage through through my cosmetics box. I'm probably going to use my flat-topped Bee Beauty brush today, or a different brush, and you'll need a beauty blender as well, and some water, because obviously, maybe not obvious to all of you out there, but I do like to incorporate water into everything I put onto my face, just because it utterly changes the look of the makeup. It just does. So water is important when applying any base products to your chops. And you'll also need a concealer brush. This is my Old Faithful double-ended foundation and concealer brush, which I got from Superdrug, something like ridiculous, like £3.99. Now then, guys, can I just have a quick conflab with you out there, if that's okay? There's this one, which looks hideous, doesn't it? But it is actually, this is Hide and Chic, or Hide and Chic. Here we go. Hide and Chic concealer, sorry about that. Hide and Chic concealer, and this is I got this from Poundland. It was £1 from Poundland, and this is in shade rose beige. This is a really lovely concealer. It's exactly the same skin tone as same color as my skin tone, although it's gone a little bit funny in the bottle. It's only 6 months old. No, I bought it here, so it's only 4 months old, and the expiry date on it is 12 months. So why it's now looking like it's got leprosy or whatever, I don't really know, but I shake it regularly. I thought I'd thrown it out actually, because it does look pretty ropey, doesn't it? I hadn't though. It was at the bottom of my my makeup bag, which is over there. Not the makeup bucket, the makeup bag, where I keep my brushes and concealers and all of that. Foundations are in the bucket. Everything else is in the bag, just for FYI and all of that. So let's get a layer of foundation onto our chops, shall we? Of course, prep your skin any way you want to. Moisturize, serum up, prime up, do whatever you normally do. I don't use anything on my skin if I'm, especially when I'm demonstrating techniques to you beautiful ones out there, because my skin is in pretty good condition, although I'm looking older and older and older as days go by. But that's incidental, isn't it? Everyone looks older. Well, did I do one or did I do A? I think I did A, didn't I? So shall I move on quickly to B? B is the fact that I can't remember what B is. So typical. And B, which did finally come to me eventually, is the fact that I personally think that if we go and put serum and then primer and moisturizer, not necessarily in that order, obviously, but you know, if we go and put layers and layers and layers of stuff underneath foundation and then concealer and then foundation on top, we're not going to stop there either. Well, you probably won't stop there at home. You'll go and put powder, blush, contour, and everything else everybody uses these days onto the face. Firstly, we're going to end up with a really, really thick and possibly quite unnatural looking layer of foundation. And secondly, the foundation won't act the same way than if you put it onto bare skin, which is actually how foundation is designed to be used, onto bare skin. It's not designed to be used with primers. Some of the more modern formulations are becoming more, compatible with primers. And although, yeah, okay, shall I just show? So let's try this this Snow Flawless stuff out, shall we? As I said, it was something ridiculously cheap, like £3.99 from B&M, and it's a really good colour match to my chops. So I'll just put, see, it's brand new, guys. I'm pumping away there, and this is a really sheer formulation, which is exactly what you need. Because if you think about it, guys, you know, if we just go in with a huge layer of foundation and then put concealer, full coverage foundation, and then go in with a huge layer of concealer and then a huge layer of full coverage foundation, the full cover foundation will actually hide the concealer. Well, it will hide the concealer. So again, start in the middle of your nose and just dabbing him in, or buffing. Okay, so that's one layer of him on. And obviously, maybe not obvious to all of you out there, but I do like a traceless look to my foundation. If I wear foundation, which is very rare, but I'm going to have to wear it today, guys, aren't I, for this demonstration, or demonstration would do, wouldn't it? Okay, and now can you see what I'm going to do is just flip it over. So I applied the foundation with, you could reverse this if you want to put your foundation on with, in fact, it's probably better to use that area there because it's a bit bigger. Does that make sense? And you'll get more foundation onto your skin. So why I went in with a pointed end, anyone's guess, although just flip it over. And with the clean sponge end, again, it is very wet, but just go over and press, leaving a bit more pressure this time, and this will help to diffuse the foundation. It's also pushing it into my skin. And that's a third thing, or fourth thing, can't remember how many points I made now about applying foundation onto bare skin, is the fact that a lot of these foundations actually have silicones in them. In fact, nearly every foundation today does have silicone in, which again are designed to bond with the skin, not bond with a layer of serum moisturizer. And then do you know what I'm trying to say there? So you won't have the same effect of the foundation. So say it's a 16-hour wear foundation. The second you apply that onto serumed up moisturized skin, you can say goodbye to those 16 hours. That's the third or fourth, possibly fifth, no, third or fourth reason I always apply makeup to my bare skin, because I've just told you why, haven't I? So shall I stop waffling and get on with this old technique? Shall I do that? Okay, I'll do that. Right. I do get that I did put some around my eyes, guys, but my bad. Okay, my bad. So do try to avoid the old immediate eye area. Goodness me. Wow. So this foundation is really nice. There's no, oh, that stinks. Pickled onions. Why does my beauty blender smell of pickled onions? Needs a good wash, possibly. I haven't been soaking it in vinegar or anything like that, but so should we move on to stage 2? I'll need to leave that just to dry, although it has dried totally on my skin, but it depends how wet your beauty blender is, of course. But I'll just come in for a quick sweep so you guys can check out the finish of this. It's got almost like a sort of very, very, very faint violet-y sort of colour to it, which I really like. I do like anything which has a sort of purple reflection to it, from the old Estee Lauder Perfectionist days. But yeah, no, I think that foundation looks really, really lovely on my skin. It's basically traceless, and it is really hydrating as well. My skin now feels comfortable. My cheeks feel moist, although not greasy at all. So now shall we move on to the next, shall we? Stage 2, beautiful ones, of Nina's technique is to then go in with your concealer. This is a very, very, very sheer concealer. It is. So, and that's possibly why I'm using it today. I don't have a lot to conceal. Again, I do get that. If you're using a fuller concealer at home, all to the good or all to the better. Shall I just get some of this on? Okay, so again, I'm going to have to give it a good shake because I don't know why it's looking so discoloured in the old tube. Possibly because it hasn't even been hot, so it's hot today outside, but got my heating on, desperate trying to dry all my clothes. But you didn't need to know that either, did you? No, you so didn't. Right, so let me just put a dollop of this one onto the back of my hand, get the lid back on him, and I'll be applying this with the you can use your fingers or you could use a beauty blender. It's entirely up to you, beautiful ones. Just get a little bit of, and this is the colour of this concealer is beautiful. I do really, really like this colour. Can you see, as I said before, it's an exact match to my skin. It is. So, which is something I personally, as a makeup artist, believe that you should believe that that's what we should be doing with concealers, not this hideous panda eye sort of, you know, putting a strip of white under here, a strip of white under here. Go really, really easy with your concealer and try to match it as exactly to your skin tone as possible. Why people just insist on having this whiteness under their eyes, I couldn't tell you. I don't think it looks very nice. And it's a trend I do just really, really wish we would hurry up and get away from. So all I'm going to conceal is the inner corners. Anywhere you have blueness, really beautiful ones. And maybe just a touch there. And what I'll do is I'll bring that down, because I know many of you do like to use buckets and buckets and bucket loads of this stuff. So for the for those ones out there that like to go OTT with the old concealer, I'll use plenty on this eye, shall I? Why not? And can you see how natural that looks now? Basically, you can't see anything that's on my face, can you? You could possibly see in here a little bit more, where there's an accumulation of the product. But so now just let that sit for, I bet it gets on the other eye, while I'll explain to you why it's important to let concealer sit for a little while, about 30 seconds to a minute. Get some more, because I'm using loads of this stuff. It was really cheap though. This, as I said, this was £1 from Poundland, so you could use as, you know, it's so cheap, it doesn't matter whether you use loads of it or not. It's the shade which is important with concealer, I think, anyway. So, shall I shut up and stop waffling? Okay, I'll do that. Just work that into the corners. A little bit there. Maybe bring that. Can you see that blueness immediately under my eyes? Because I've been quite tired recently. Poor me. Now, I'll put my brush over here because it's filthy now. Look at that. Shall I actually go and wash it and then come back in a bit? No, I can't, because I need to actually press on with this tutorial. I do. So, now I've got the same sponge which I used earlier, which has still got a tiny, tiny trace of the foundation in on the tip. And all I'm going to do now is just to buff with the pointed end. So, and by buffing this in, what I'm doing is just doing a very light press, and I'm diffusing the concealer out. I am. That's exactly what I'm doing, beautiful ones. That is exactly what I'm doing. So yeah. David and I went to Great Malvern yesterday. We had the most amazing day. Vlog of that on the way. We walked up, I can't remember the name of the hill we walked up because my memory is just shocking. It is just the most appalling memory you will ever want to come across. However, it's the biggest hill in that of the Malverns, and that's the hill that David and I walked up yesterday. We were both exhausted by the time we got up there, but we had the most beautiful day. We really did. And as I said, vlog of that on the way. So, I guess by combining all of these onto my face, and what I mean by combining is you know, keeping a tiny bit of foundation on the end of the sponge, and that was incidental. You could use a clean sponge if you feel uncomfortable with doing what I've just done. Although it's blending it all together, isn't it? And that means that we could possibly go with a little bit less foundation or foundation towards the end. So, and this is exactly my point behind concealers. People just look, it took to my mind that I think they look a little bit ridiculous, to be honest with you, with this really, really white, sort of pale area underneath the eyes. It draws the eye immediately to that area, doesn't it? And it just flashes, it just lights up the whole face. People using paler concealers in their skin tone for contour or highlighter, sorry, is fine, because you do need something much, much paler to bring that area forwards. Although why people want to bring the area immediately under their eyes forwards is a mystery to me. Although conversely, I get why people wouldn't want to push it back necessarily. I just think that we need to just cover it, do you know what I mean, and make it disappear. And how do we make something disappear? By matching it into the background. That's exactly how you make something disappear. So that's the theory behind my technique for concealing. And also, I did have a spot here. I don't know whether it's gone or not now, but let's get some more of that one onto my brush. Just search the old chops for a bit of a spot, shall we? Oh, let's just pretend it's there, shall we? Anyway, what I'm going to do is just dab it on, leave it again for the obligatory 30 seconds, and then all you need to do is just possibly with a clean brush. Shall I go and get a clean brush? Okay, I'll go and get a clean brush. Back in a second. With your clean brush, with your clean brush, just go around the edges. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Leaving the centre area covered. And sadly, as I said, I don't really have any spots. I used to have terrible spots when I was younger. But that again demonstrates how important it is to get the concealer exactly the same as your skin tone. And I just hope that this technique now takes off, my concealing technique, not the sandwich technique, because I think that would take off anyway. Nina's an amazing. And now, guys, the final stage of the sandwiching technique is to go back in with the same foundation you used before, sheer to medium coverage. Try and get the foundation to match the concealer, and get both to try and match your skin tone identically, if at all possible, or as close to, you know. So, and you'll need a foundation brush, and this one I'm going to use my flat top. In fact, this is one of my favourite brushes. I've got quite a few brushes now. They are really expensive though. I'm going to use 2 pumps of this one, and this will help just to seal the deal. And I'm going to buff this in this time. I get that I didn't buff in with the sponge really, although I buffed when it was on the skin, didn't I? But this is going to pick up a lot less foundation by buffing it in, because it's pushing, basically it's in effect pushing the base into the bristles of the brush. That allows for a little bit more control. So shall we? Let's just get on with it, shall I? Start with the nose. And here you can go over your eyes. Okay. And because I've already put the concealer down and it has set now, and I should have said before, self-setting concealer, essential. What am I like, guys, eh? And just focus most of the foundation in the central parts of your face, buffing the whole time. This foundation, it doesn't smell. Fragrance. It's got that slightly sort of silicone-y, nice sort of foundation, clean sort of, I suppose, clean's the best word, isn't it? Clean sort of foundation smell, although it is a fragrance-free foundation. Really lovely. And as I said, it's so sheer and so natural. And I think they do quite a few colours. It's W7 Snow Flawless Foundation, as I've said. Hydrating, light reflecting. Videos unsponsored, as are all of my videos. And they will remain so for the foreseeable. Do bring the foundation onto the neck. And now you can do everything you would normally... Sorry, you're there, aren't you guys? Hi, how are you all doing? So bright in here again. I've actually got my curtains closed. It's the most beautiful day in the world outside. The sun is streaming down. And I'm sat here sweating like a pig. With the curtains closed, just to film for you guys. But you're worth it. You are so worth it. You are. Right. Now, this is getting a little bit more coverage than I would like, but hopefully you can tell by the sheer fact that we have now put concealer we've put foundation on first, and then we've gone in with the concealer under eyes, or anyway, you've got blemishes or areas of concern. And then by going with that second layer of foundation, just seals the whole lot together and does give you the most flawless looking skin, doesn't it? It does. I'll come in for a close-up in a second. My technique of blending is not the best in the world, mainly because I can't see what I'm doing. A bit of time for a bit of music. Should we listen to I may add some music to this anyway, but if I don't, then I'll add some music to this part where I'm just preening. It's important to work the foundation into all of it. I'm basically pressing it in so that everywhere is covered by foundation. And I'm not going to stop there either, guys. Once I finish with the brush, I'm going to go back in with my damp sponge. A different sponge though this time, not the same one we used before. Quite a lengthy technique, I would say. I mean, obviously I'm taking longer than you guys will do at home, and the more you do this, the faster you'll get at it. But I suppose that if you're going for a night out or a date or something like that, then this technique really does make your skin look incredibly flawless. Especially if you match, should I stop going on about matching stuff? Shall I? Okay, stop it now. I'm just going to go and soak my, this is a mauve or a purple beauty sponge. I'm going to go and soak it in water. In fact, I'll do that now whilst you're still with me, guys. Why not? It's all very precariously set up in here. Right, so that's now sopping wet. Doesn't look it, I get that, but I have just soaked it in water. And I'm just going to go in with the flatter end or the fatter end of the sponge and just bounce that lot in. And by doing this, that feels so refreshing. By doing this, I'm just diffusing the foundation even more. And it will add that beautiful sheen, which I like to think that I'm not responsible for at all. I get that, guys, but I'm a huge fan of the way the incorporation of a soaked beauty blender, not a damp beauty blender, but a soaked beauty blender will give your skin. It really does transform the look. And I'm actually going to go over my eyes as well to help that lot blend in even further together, and gives us a far more seamless finish. It does, guys. It so does. It does. It just does. It just does. So yeah, granted, I've picked up a little bit more foundation off my chop. So, but do you know what my point there is? Shall I tell you what my point is before I actually ask you if you know what my point is? I do that so often, don't I, guys? My bad. Yeah, no, it is my bad. I get that. But yeah, waffling now, severely waffling. So what do you reckon to that, guys? Now, I'll just tell you how my skin feels, and then I ought to close really and go, because this video is going to be like 3 hours long or something silly like that. My skin now looks amazing. Look at that. Can you see that line of reflection along my cheek? Wow, my skin's just alive now, isn't it? And it looks totally flawless. It does. There's no dark shadows under my eyes anymore. Not that there were anyway, but there was quite a bit of blueness under that eye, wasn't there? That's why I went in a little bit closer with the concealer. And this one has covered it too, because obviously I've been shifting foundation around this old face of mine, haven't I? I have. But yeah, I just think that looks incredible. The glow, which just lifts the whole look. And by going with a layer of foundation and then concealer and then foundation, we're just giving our skin a little bit more coverage, although we're allowing each layer to dry first as well. So it's almost like painting, do you know what I mean? That by allowing each layer to dry before going in with the next layer, seals a deal on each layer and therefore gives you a longevity of wear. This will last all day now, although I now I've got to go upstairs and have a bath and remove all because I'm going to meet David from work. I am. But yeah, I personally think that with Nina's sandwiching technique and my exactly matching skin tone with concealer technique and my soaked beauty blender technique or brush, you could even just do what I do occasionally. Just get your brush, get a cup of water, dip it in there, blob of foundation on the end, go in with your brush. You'll get exactly the same results, guys. So that's it. If I've forgotten anything, possibly lots and lots and lots, but the main result of today is just the fact that skin now looks amazing, doesn't it? It does. So, right, I better go, guys. Links to all products used today will be in the description, as will Nina Ubi's channel, and I'll write her name. If I haven't already done it, I'll write her name down here now, if I remember. No, I definitely will. And all that remains is for me to wish you guys a beautiful Sunday. Have a wonderful week next week, and I'll see you all very, very soon for the next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment, and I'll endeavour to reply. I will reply anyway, eventually, but sometimes it might be like 3 months down the line or something. I'm going to go now, guys. Remember, I do love you all very, very much, and thank you for watching. Take care.